Welcome to the Observability Podcast. Today we have a dynamic duo from Cloud Intelligent, an AWS consulting partner. We're joined by Abdul Wasay, an associate solutions architect, and account executive, Gillian Hewett. He's passionate about helping clients optimize their AWS environments while implementing robust observability practices. Gillian offers a unique perspective with experience at major players like AWS, Salesforce, and Gartner before joining the startup world at Cloud Intelligent. Together, they represent the perfect blend of technical expertise and client-facing skills that make complex cloud transformations successful. Abdul and Gillian, welcome to the show. Excited to be on the podcast today. We have something really different planned on a lot of levels, actually. I just smile and wave. And Tim's just going to smile and wave because he's getting thunderstorms today. So he's on a delay and blurry and everything, but that's okay. Hey, Tim brings the style even under these circumstances. So, but yeah, we want to welcome both Gillian and Wasay. They're from a company called Cloud Intelligent, and you're going to see why this ties in pretty soon to the Observability podcast. But they're both fascinating to talk to, and they both have really interesting talents. So today we're going to do that. We're going to put each of them up to this is the first time we've done this. We're going to put each of them up to a separate death match between Ferrari and Maserati. So they each have their own. And this time we've set it up in a way that it's a little bit more challenging. Probably one of the strongest competitions we're going to have in a while. So we have that toward the end of the show to look forward to. Of course, I expect the right outcome. So please don't let me down on that. But Tim's like, finally. Yeah. So no, we had a good show last time, Charity with Honeycomb. Just made me so happy with her choice during the death match. So I've got my fingers crossed that reversed the trend and that we're going to head in the right trend moving forward. So, but first, let's talk a little bit about Cloud Intelligent. So if for those of you who don't know, Tim and I work for a product called Scouted AI. And the reason that Cloud Intelligent is so important for us, and we wanted to have them on the show, is because Scouted AI is not only a Broadcom partner, which we have been for quite some time with our AI work, but now we're a full-fledged Amazon partner. So we're on the AWS Marketplace and all of that. And a lot of the things that we've done, and I'll talk a little bit later about our agentic factory that Tim and I work on, a lot of the things that we've done wouldn't have been possible without the help of Cloud Intelligent, specifically Gillian and Wasay. And so without further ado, maybe we'll start with Gillian and then with Wasay. How about you introduce yourself to everybody and tell us what you do over there at Cloud Intelligent?
All right. Thank you guys so much for having us. My first podcast, so everybody go easy on me. But I talk a lot, so I think that'll be okay. But yes, I am Gillian Hewett. I'm an account executive at Cloud Intelligent. Been here for a little over a year. I worked at Gartner, at AWS, and at Salesforce previously. So I'm still within the AWS kind of ecosystem with Cloud Intelligent, but I'm an account executive, so help customers like Tony and Tim, realize their potential on AWS and continue being that support for them as well, along with AWS. So yeah, really looking forward to doing the podcast, and this death match sounds interesting.
And your hidden talent is?
My hidden talent is I play the piano, and I can also name all of the presidents in the chronological order. So
Wow.
it's my
I did not expect that. Wow.
I know, I had to throw it in for you guys,
It's like one of the DUI tests, right? Yeah, can you name all the presidents in order, right? If you pass that, you can keep on driving, yeah.
I don't know if that's a talent or just something that I was forced to remember, but it's a pretty good icebreaker for what awkward
Well,
combo.
we're going to explore both of those hidden talents here today. So I didn't know about the other one, but I knew about the piano. She's going to possibly play some Evanescence for us. It's possible she'll play some Rachmaninoff. There's no telling, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. And that, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever. Okay, now moving on to Wasay. Tell us about yourself, Wasay.
Hey guys, Wasay here. I'm solution architect at Cloud Diligent. Previously, I worked at a product company called Autosphere. It's a robot process automation firm. They essentially created a product that automates stuff for you. It works very well for telecom and banking industry. I spent there for like 2 years, built that product for them, built their entire DevOps department. And after that, I left them and joined Cloud Diligent. Started as a cloud engineer and then moved the ladder up as a solution architect in a short span of time. Even though I'm a solution architect, I help in pre-sales. I help Gillian out, help clients, building solutions and everything that we did for ANI as well. But I still wear my engineering hat, and I still am very well hands-in in the terms of there as well. So that's me. About hidden
Hidden
talents.
talent. Give us
Yeah,
something because you got to do something.
yeah. I don't know if I have as good hidden talents as
You can
Gillian
say
does.
the presidents in reverse order, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I wish I could, but yeah, Jillian's amazing. She has hidden talents. I mean, for me, oh gosh, what is it? I'm a tech freak. I love tech. I love building out systems and PCs. I cannot show you this, but you get an idea. And I am a DIY freak, so I love to do stuff on my own. I paint my rooms. I put plasters on walls and everything else internally. So that's all me. You can also see this back wall right now. It's under work, so I'm working on it. So it's not complete.
Okay, so
That's
you're
cool.
multi-talented.
Yeah,
And
thanks.
you're really good at Legos too. I know that.
Oh
you're
yeah, I build
super
Lego
good at
stuff as
that.
well. I built a car, a fancy one right there. I'm building one more as well. So I'm going to put them on frames, which is going to be built behind. You see some stuff right there.
Wow. And Wasay's other hidden talent is his hair.
Yes.
So back in the day when we first met, Gillian and Wasay, Tim and I got on a call. And Gillian, of course, charming and giving us the whole rundown and everything. And then Wasay comes on camera and he looks like Wasay, but the difference is he has this enormous flowing hair like he's in a rock band.
Yeah.
And, I told Tim I was rather flabbergasted. I thought, man, that's hair is just says rock star, just like the commercial, right? And then what was it? A month ago, Wasay shows up and he had cut off all of his hair, and it was a big disappointment. But he certainly has that as a talent. I know I've grown this the way it looks right now for 4 years. This is as long as it gets, and so after 4 years, this is what I've got. So I'm certainly jealous of Wasay's hidden talent of his hair. So, but anyways, yeah. So we'll move. Yes, one day. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys do in specific. So I was thinking about with our experience, Tim and I, with the agentic factory that we're creating, and how I said it really couldn't have come about if we didn't have your help. And I was thinking back to when we first met you. I think Wasay, the very first thing you did for us was help us take our product and get it, it's a FTR, right? What does that mean? How did you, just tell us how you helped us get past that?
Yeah, 100%. So FTR, which is a Foundation Technical Review, whenever any product is due to launch on AWS Marketplace, they essentially want you to go to a check, which is a Foundation Technical Review. It has a set of series of best practices around security, reliability, and operational excellence. So there's a line items around this that needs to be checked out internally with your product and the infrastructure that you have. So when we first met, and the engagement that started with us was that first priority thing with this. What we did was essentially we scanned your entire AWS account against those best practices and laid down those line items that need to be remediated, right? And what things needs to be, fixed and moved around to get those checklists done around. So that's essentially in a nutshell what FTR is all about. Making sure that your infrastructure and the product that you're trying to sell off in the marketplace adheres to those best practices in the industry and is safe and, in the security environments and everything else, so that their customers are confident with your service that you're providing. So it's just that essentially.
Okay, so I remember when we started, we couldn't get Scouted AI when Tim and I were looking at the marketplace and wanting to be out, since we were going to be an AWS partner, we wanted to be on the marketplace, to sell the product and everything. And we couldn't get on there without this service, is the way I remember it. Gillian, I have that right?
Yes.
From what you told me, yeah. Unless you were just telling me that to sell stuff, right? So,
I mean,
well, it could be. Could
Yeah,
be. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
it works out well.
It works out well. Absolutely. So we got that done. We got on the marketplace, and I guess what you're saying is you guys do that for a lot of companies besides what you did for us.
Exactly. So we have a complete process built around this. So whenever any client comes up and wants to be on Marketplace, there are certain checklists that need to go through. FTR is one of them. And essentially a whole review happens against their account. So it's going to be a solution architect, me, a manager or an executive from the client's company, and a bunch of engineers from their team. We all sit down, we build up the architecture, visualize it, we talk about it, what's missing, what's part of it, how things needs to be done, backups are in place, do you have reliability practices in place, all of that stuff. We do a checklist around this. Things that are missing, we remediate them, make sure that's fixed, we do some testing around it. And once all of that is done, we go through the FTR submission process, wait for the approval of AWS, and then we're in business, we're in the Marketplace.
And Gillian, from your standpoint, like, I think I read you were pre-law at one point. What
Yeah, I was going to
led you?
ask that.
Because it put me a little, Tim, I don't know about you, but it put me a little on edge because,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
a lawyer, is she trying to trap us into saying something? I don't know. But Gillian, what is this?
So my dad really wanted me to be a lawyer. And you know, it was exciting in the moment to think about it, but then COVID happened. And so I got a job actually at Gartner as just a low level cold calling, rep scheduling meetings for chief strategy officers on the business side of Gartner. I think you guys are really in well like understanding of the IT side of Gartner. But yeah, so I was cold calling and then was taking the LSAT, but then it had been a year. And then finally I applied to law schools and then I was like, but I'm already making money. And
Which is the goal, right?
yeah, and I like sales and I just couldn't really imagine being in school for 3 more years. So I just kind of ended that real quick. And now my brother's actually in law school, so he's going to be the lawyer of the family. So my dad's happy now. It doesn't have to be me.
I guess so. So was that sort of a long-winded way of saying that you failed the bar? Why did you go this route? Well, yeah, I just failed the bar.
Yeah, unfortunately, knowing about the presidents isn't enough.
It's not on the test?
Yeah, no, there's nothing about it. I took the
Oh,
LSAT. I'm like, what is this logic games? What is this? Why is there numbers involved? I'm not good at
That's
math.
unfair.
who's the 10th president?
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Quincy Adams, Jackson, McBurney, Harrison, Tyler.
Tyler. I don't even know. Tyler. Yeah. Tyler Durden. I mean, wow, that's amazing.
Was it? Was I getting it right?
I would have
It is
loved
John
that.
Tyler. Yeah, it is
Thank
John
you.
John
Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah, it
Way
is
to
John
go,
Tyler.
Wasay.
Yeah.
Way to check the facts, man. That's awesome.
If I got it wrong, lost it. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm good with my hands,
Because this is so much fun, I'm going to try to steer us back on topic. This is the Observability Podcast. So let me ask you, why don't each of you give me your opinion of how you help companies with observability and any thoughts that you have on where we're headed with AI? Because from Tim and I's vantage point, and I'll share something that we're doing here in a little bit, but from Tim and I's vantage point, everything changed with AI. And that's talking for years and years of observability practice that we've all sort of been involved in. So anyways, maybe Gillian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that a lot of customers are coming to us about observability. I mean, the well-architected review that we also helped you guys out with, that's one of the main pillars that AWS has for a well-architected environment is to make sure that there's observability within your infrastructure. I think that people, at least within AWS, when they build an account, they think that because they're on AWS, that someone else is going to manage anything that's going on within their environment and will alert them if something is, happening that's malicious or costing them a lot of money. But that really isn't the case. You really have to work with partners like Wasay and I and Cloud Elegant itself to implement those tools for observability within your environment. Just because you have an AWS account doesn't mean that they're going to alarm you when something's going on. And you need to be really well aware. And customers, I don't think, usually really are well aware of that stipulation when they build on AWS. So I find it very important But Wasay, maybe you can dive into like how we help with observability within the well-architected or, the hands-on keyboard stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the most critical things when it comes to any kind of environment being spinned up on any platform, either be it on-prem or on cloud, right? It's the go-to factor to know how your systems are working. If you don't have that visibility about it, where did you spend your money on? Like, you don't have that ROI as visibility over it, right? That's the first. So whenever we do any kind of engagement on AWS, right? Whenever we do that, one of the most key pillar and one of the effort that we put in our work is also around monitoring as well. And a lot of lately customers that are coming in for us are being compliant customers. So we're talking about NIST, SOC 2, HIPAA, GDPR, stuff like that, right? And all of these compliances requires your workloads to have a robust monitoring and observability solutions in place. It could be native AWS or it could be any third-party solutions, right? And auditors need those things to be in place for them to review stuff. So whenever we're setting up any landing zone, when I say landing zone, I'm talking about setting up a very fresh green environment on AWS. The first foremost thing that we do with any account setup is put in the observability for any kind of activity been happening in the account, been logged to something. On top of that, if any new infrastructure comes in, we put in native tools for that. If they want to work with native, if they want to work with third parties, we have a bunch of them. We use those, and we put the solutions in them, give them alarms, notification alerts to any kind of platform that they want, and they're always up to date. And that is how we also provide our managed services, which essentially keeps tabs on 24/7 activities of their operations. So it's a very important aspect, and this is how we help them.
Yeah, and we even have, believe once a month, Wasay, don't you do like a review or observability review looking at our application that we have on the marketplace, and you look for gaps or holes and you send us, so that's a service that you provide to anybody?
So that particular service comes under the FinOps services, which is financial operations. Essentially, it is an observability kind of a thing, but on a financial aspect. So we help you with the observability aspect of finances. So when you're working on cloud, right, it's all about what you need, you just pay for that. What happens is when engineers and developers are working on stuff, they are not very, I'll say, aware of cost aspects on cloud, and they don't really care about it, right? They're just in just to get the work done and just be done with and move on to the next task, right? They don't care about the financial aspects, and this is where we come in. We keep tabs on it. We make sure that there are no anomaly hikes up. So let's say something that has been happening for the past 3 or 4 months is still in track for the next month, unless there's a business, increased size of production workers or anything else. But if anything is deviating from there, or anything is an anomaly that needs to be switched off or switched on, we keep tabs on that, and we give you observability over it, so you are aware what's happening internally. That's the review we do in the FinOps web. But when it comes to our other services, we have our support teams that look at these alerts of any kind of anomalies happening on the infrastructure, and we have an SLA of under 15 minutes. So we immediately reach out to clients, inform them what's happening, what you need to do, where we can help you, and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, actually, now I'm sitting here thinking about that. That has Gillian and we have a monthly meeting with Cloud Elegant, but I remember in the last meeting we had shown a decrease in sort of what I would call wasteful spending, that we didn't need to do, and that's where you guys come in, sort of like Wasay said, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the benefits of our FinOps program that's free to join. But basically what we do is even if we don't have those monthly meetings, we'll still somehow get alerts for the customers of saying, hey, this has spiked a lot, so that we can reach out and inform you even outside of those monthly meetings, just so that everyone's aware, so they don't get a giant monthly bill at the end that's double what they were, having, which happens a lot. I think a lot more than what people, again, on AWS understand and know. And like Wasay, it's pay for what you go, or pay for what you use. And I think that a lot of people don't really understand how much costs can really rack up, when it comes to stuff like that, or with engineers who are on the back end doing things, maybe getting into things that they shouldn't necessarily be getting into. There's no way to really inform your head IT person that they're, mining for Bitcoins right now and things like that, unless you have some sort of observability tool and logging tool that will really kind of flag what's going on and if it's something that shouldn't be going on, essentially.
Who's the fifth president?
Oh, shit, Monroe, James Monroe.
So now what do you guys think about AI observability? So for instance, and this is what I meant earlier when I said observability has changed. So back in the day, and Tim and I both came from cut from the same cloth where we came from and what we did for work. But back in the day, observability started off by simply, monitoring things, monitoring logs of systems, and then trying to determine what a normal baseline should be, and when we're deviating from that. But what has changed is now, Wasay, you said something about compliance, and we just finished our SOC 2 audit, so we know how that feels, right? That's a pretty intense audit. But we're about to go through the one that's really important for a company like ours, which is ISO 42K, which is an audit that doesn't really care so much about systems, infrastructure, and so forth. It's an audit that actually looks at your agents, your AI agents, and looks at how they think, and looks at whether or not they lie to you, and things like that, right? So that's really a shift in the world of observability. So I was going to ask Wasay, what do you think about that? And then Tim and I are we haven't told you anything about this. Tim and I are going to show you something that's now part of Scout It that I think is going to blow your mind. But first, I want to hear what you think, Wasay.
Looking forward to that piece. But yeah, AI, it has completely changed almost, I think, anything in the engineering aspect of technology. It has brought a huge shift in it, right? It's scary. It is fun as well. But yeah, when it comes to observability, 100%. So previously, anything that pops up in your observability, any alert comes in, you need to have a manual engineer sitting there, look at it, tear it out, which team it needs to route it to, and who needs to look into, and how can we remediate it, and how critical that is, right? Unless you have those thresholds in place, which you can as well. But with AI, let's say an alert comes in, and based on the log output that's come in, you could have your scripts written out and your AI chains in place that can, essentially just look up the errors. If it has the knowledge base for your environment, it can essentially even fix stuff for you, and you can build it. I have seen that. So you don't need a 24/7 engineering or a team of tier 1 sitting there just moving tickets around to different teams. You can have an AI chatbot or a bot sitting in between and doing that for you. So a lot of major shifts happening. People are going to lose jobs. That's scary, but good stuff's going to happen as well. So, it's
funny you say that, because Tim and I always say with our team and everything, we say, don't worry so much about losing your developer job. Learn how to manage AI agents and teach them how to do your work. And then you can have a team of AI agents. So it's really interesting. Things have changed. And I've said this before, I was the last one to probably get on board of new technology, because I'm so traditional in how we do things. But the AI explosion and how it impacts observability blows me away. And I'm totally on board because it totally blows me away.
And agentic is about to come in. Sorry, Gillian, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, are you guys a fan of AI, I guess, in observability, but also AI in general? How do you all feel about it?
I'll let Tim go. He's deep in this.
Yeah. So we do a lot of it. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I closed everything on the internet besides ChatGPT. I pulled that up because I want to see what order the presidents really are. So next time you throw one out, I can check. So she may already have it pulled up, right? So, but anyway, we use it a lot for coding, and it actually helps, right? So I've been developing since birth, but I really started in high school, and I'm pretty old. So I'm very good, but AI is like having that little partner just to help you out. All right, write a use case for this, or write a test case, because I don't want to do it, right? And it's actually getting so much better that you forget sometimes it's an AI. Tony argues with it. And this was funny. I saw this on the news the other day. They think the AI now is going through a depression stage because it apologizes too much. So it's I'm really sorry I let you down. But I'm look, okay. But yeah, no, I like it to the point that it's really, we've realized you still have to know programming because you got to know when it screws up, right?
Yes.
But most companies, to Tony's point and to John's point, y'all know John, It's not so much the senior developer to us. It's another tool in the toolbox, but it is the junior developer. I think
Exactly.
they're going to forget how to code correctly. They're going to take shortcuts. But the truth is AI can already do that in a couple of seconds, right? And it does such a great job when it works. Sometimes it just deletes everything and it makes you mad. So make sure you back up, right? so, uh, go. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Go ahead.
Gillian, who's the 8th president?
Van Buren.
What are you doing by first name or last name? Because I did by both. You said you did alphabetical.
No, she's chronological, right? You're
Not
chronological.
chronological. I'm chronological.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so the
okay,
8th
okay.
president, she says is Van Buren. I don't know if you've seen whether
she's
that-
right. Yeah,
she's right.
she's right.
How about that? Now, do you know anything about the presidents or just the order?
I know some about like a few.
I gotcha. So it's more of a surface level thing you got going on there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. My favorite's Washington, I would say, but not just because he was the first. But if you've ever watched
Why?
Washington,
Why?
oh, because he was like this tall, wonderful general, and they wanted him to become the king, like how it was in England. And he was like, "No, we built this nation so that we can not be under a monarchy and have one ruler and one family. Like I need to leave and let someone else take the reins. Like we left this to form this. Why would I want to be the king?" And also, he wanted to go home with his wife, and I value that a lot.
And who was this again?
Washington, the first one, number one.
Number 1. Okay. Yeah, history, I didn't do good on history, so
Really,
I
I
want to
didn't
show
do well on math or tech. So
I want to show you something here. Tim and I are going to figure out how to unveil something.
okay, I'm excited.
Okay, so can you see that?
I can.
Okay, so this is now I know we haven't shown you this, but we haven't shown this actually on the podcast either. But so just for everybody, I'll explain real quick. So Tim and I have worked together to sort of create what we call an agentic factory. So back in the early days of the new generative AI, if you think about it, what you ended up with were just a lot of chatbots, right? So they're really helpful, and then you can go to ChatGPT or Grok or whoever you want to go to, and you get helpful chatbots. But from a business perspective, I think a lot of the companies that we call on, it's good, but it doesn't really help them meet like business goals, and it can get expensive without giving them a return on investment, right? So what we decided to do was to create or to build a factory where what we do is we build what we call an agentic army. And it's 7 original agents that we created that are focused on doing things for IT. Okay, so that's what they do. They do things for IT. But we also decided to create a secondary factory where we produce clones, just like we're in Star Wars, right? So the clone army and everything. So we actually produce clones, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. And the reason I want to get your opinion on this, so let me move this over here. So this is the original 7, the Super 7, the Magnificent 7. I'm trying to think of a movie reference that we can stick with, constantly. But this is the agentic army that we originally created. And you'll notice that each of them have something special that they do. And we put the date that they were decanted. So since these are like robots, they're put into a decanter for us to develop them. But then they emerge from the decanter when they're loaded into production. So all 7 that you see are in production now. They all have immersion state for Scouted. And they do things for our customers. But the one that I wanted to talk to you about is the Critic. So it's this guy right here. Now, we rolled him out because what he does, remember I said that ISO 42K is focused on what your agents think? Well, the number one thing when Tim and I were talking with customers over the past few months that the customers would ask us was, how do you know that because we had 6 agents, they would say, how do you know that your 6 agents are doing good? How do you know that they're telling the truth? Things like that. So we wrote the 7th agent, the Critic, so that he goes out and looks at everything the other 6 do, and he scores them. And so what I wanted to first get your opinion on is the concept of an agent that judges other agents for observability. Wasay, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask this. How do you judge the critic himself? Do you do it manually or do you have an agent on top of it now?
He is required to judge himself.
Okay.
So his job each day is to go out and give a daily judgment on the other 6, and followed by a judgment on his work for that day. And so at the end of the day, we get 7 scores. And those scores represent 1 to 100 how perfect each one of them did with things like trust, confusion, were they dependable, did they have a bad temper, did they curse somebody out, all that stuff we capture, right? And so we're able to see that, and then he finishes by judging his temperament, the way he acted. And then the final thing that the critic does is we trained him on how to be an ISO 42K auditor. And so for each agent, he looks at the way that they behaved, and he judges if they could pass an ISO audit.
Oh, okay.
Now, tell me,
That's
that
cool.
isn't cool.
That is cool. So yeah, you use the knowledge base of the 42K's checklist items and everything is around it, and it does it around it. So that's
right.
That's really cool.
And he'll even quote the clause in the ISO 42K documentation. He'll quote the clause and give us the clause that an agent violates if it does, so that we can then go and retrain and fine-tune our other agents.
That's insane.
So when I said earlier that it was like a different world now for observability, that's sort of what we were talking about.
That makes
It's
sense.
totally different now.
It is, and it makes sense. I mean, you have 6 different agents doing specific thing that they're built for, and then you have one big one on top of it, making sure that they do what they're intended for without deviating or being biased about it. But yeah, that's amazing.
Being biased or even just breaking rules,
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Tim and I would hate to have one of these watching us, because we both break all the rules, right? And we would be busted. So we're glad that we don't live in the agentic world.
Yeah, no.
The other thing Tim and I were talking about, this will be sort of cool. We wanted to show you one clone. Okay, so remember, the clones they directly inherit from their parents. So in this case, we created this clone called the transformer. And this was for a customer who I blacked out their name. But this customer commissioned us to create a Six Sigma black belt, like master, like the best Six Sigma analyst ever. So we inherited from his 2 parents. Okay, so that would have been this guy who is the trender and this guy who is the blender. And each of them do specific things, and they use Six Sigma to do it. So both of these guys are really good. But this customer wants to inherit from them and have this clone, but he wants them to be made for pharmaceutical distribution. So now what we've done is we've inherited all the goodness from these 2 up here. And remember, they're for IT. So they do Six Sigma for IT. We've inherited and we cloned them and created the transformer, who does the same thing, but now for a pharmaceutical customer. So he now becomes their clone, and they take ownership of the clone, but he inherited from his parents. So Tim and I want to know, what kind of clone would Gillian and Wasay want us to do for them? And we won't charge you much money. I mean, not much at all. I mean, we'd be shocked at how little we'll charge you. We'll send you the bill, but I mean.
I'll let Wasay go first.
I think Wasay would want a clone that does all of the FTRs for Amazon for him, so that he doesn't have to do them.
Yeah, I just need to do a final sign off on them. So that'll be great.
Just do a sign off, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It does all the heavy lifting, tells me what remediation needs to be done, creates a very beautiful report around it, shows it to me as summary, and I'm like, yeah, looks good. Go ahead.
Yep.
Boom. I love that.
Yeah, we thought we'd just roll that out, because when we've talked to the podcast before about observability, I think Tim and I focus on traditional observability and how it's sort of migrating over time. But there has been a big part of our last 6 months where we've spent time actually trying to use AI, not just as chatbots, but to create agents that are available for people to use in our product, but also they can commission their own. When we first got that commission to build a clone, it was just the most exciting thing, right? You feel like you're in a science fiction movie.
Exactly.
I feel like, General Grievous in Star Wars twirling the lightsabers and everything because we're building clones. So
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
I guess I'm going way too far down the rabbit hole there. So
no.
I mean, the future is agentic, right? And you have already like started working on that. So and all the big industries are like trying to achieve agentic AI for all kind of workloads. But you're getting this clean sheet for the observability workload. So I mean, that's amazing how you're using it.
yeah. I think I can speak for Blurry Tim there and say that both of us, appreciate that so much of it came from your help. So thank you for that. So,
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hey, okay. Now, Tim, it's time for the death match. It's
Oh,
a
gosh.
dual. It's a dual death match. And let me get it ready here. Hold on. Okay. So can you see the first death match?
Yes.
So here are now, I'll go ahead and show you some stuff from the past. How's this? So I'm gonna go up to the top. And that'll help you understand the rules. So this was a Broadcom product manager that came on, and she was presented with these two cars that you could not tell the brand name of. And she was asked to pick which one she would like to go out driving on a perfect Friday night in perfect weather along the Pacific Coast Highway in California. And yeah, yeah, she chose, the wrong car, obviously. She wanted to be in a Ferrari Mondial versus a Maserati Bora. Obviously, we all know that was the wrong choice. But anyways, that was her choice. Next was Jeremy Rossback, who has a podcast on observability and NetOps. And he's also from Broadcom, really cool podcast. He came on and we gave him something a little bit newer, a little bit flashier, for the same type thing. Unfortunately, in this case, we asked him where would he like to drive. He lives in Baltimore. And we were like, which car would you like to drive in Baltimore on a good night or to a football game or something like that? And for whatever reason, he chose the Ferrari 458, versus the superior car. This was Dan, who is the network operations director at Cody Cosmetics in New York City. And, I didn't know what to do here. He ended up choosing a Ferrari, but that was under protest. He said that it was really, he wanted to pick a Triumph convertible from the 60s, which we didn't allow. So it was sort of under protest. This was the lead singer for Holy Wave, who we had on the show. And those are his two choices there. And he chose the Ferrari Dino.
See the pattern?
Yeah, no one's choosing your Maseratis, Tony.
Yeah, well, that all changed
Okay.
with episode 5. Charity Majors, who's the CEO over at Honeycomb IO, looked at these two cars, same type of thing. What would you want to drive around on a perfect Friday night? And she chose the right car. She chose the Maserati, and Tim and I are real happy at that point.
Okay. A lot of pressure.
So there's no pressure or anything, but Gillian, you're up first. And we'll just stick with the same thing. Now, today's a little bit different in the fact that these are more of the classic racing cars, right? As opposed to the new supercars. But you still, if you go back to the 60s and the 70s, you get some really beautiful cars. So in this case, I'll just ask you, what area do you live in again, Gillian?
I live in North Carolina.
Okay. So how about, let's say this. Let's say that you want to go for the weekend and drive up and down the Outer Banks.
Okay.
Take a pick. Which one? Right
Actually,
or left?
before you do,
Yeah.
Tony, you know what's in North Carolina, right?
What's
The
that? Oh, the
Speedway.
racetrack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. This would be a perfect fit for a speedway. Yeah. So think about that too, Gillian.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say if I'm driving up and down the coast of the Outer Banks and it's a nice day out, I feel like I would want the right one. The one on the right, my right.
Okay, the 60, number 60 there.
Yes.
All right, let's see what you did. It's the Maserati birdcage.
I got it right. To me and Sherry.
Outstanding. And just a truly amazing car. I mean, it was called that because if you took the shell off of the car, all of the original Maserati racers back in the 50s and 60s, they had this little cage around them made out of aluminum, and so they called it the Maserati birdcage. So, Gillian, I now completely trust that you can name all the presidents in
Yeah.
order and that you can play the Rock 3 on your piano.
Yeah.
And that's just based on your answer. So
Thank you.
Was this a convertible? Was this a convertible or no?
that was they never came with the top. That's correct. Yeah. So so now we'll say you're up to bat, and we wanted to put out a couple of interesting ones, both of them more in the concept area. And so I'll give you the same basic principle. You can either be out driving on your own for luxury and just a great night, or you could be out to impress friends or whatever. But which one catches your eye there?
I mean, the right one looks like Back to Future. It's a car from there. I don't know, but let me see.
It's actually what I was
doesn't it?
thinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's look like. I mean, if I want to impress my friends, right? Of course, I'll go with the right. I can impress. They have a car that can go back, and in the future as well. But
Yeah.
if I'm out just for a a normal, sunset drive or something like that, I'll definitely go with the left one.
Okay. So
So different scenarios, different car.
different scenarios, different cars. So to keep it
Exactly.
consistent, I'll just say, you're going out driving on a perfect night. You're going to pick the one on the left,
On a perfect night,
driving around, having fun.
having fun.
Yes,
I'll
fun.
go-
Wasay.
Yeah. Wasay's like, I just work all the time.
I know.
That's the case. I think I'll go with the. It has to pick. I like the right, but I like the left. I like the left as well. Which was a Maserati? I think I'll go with the right.
You go with the right?
Yeah.
Let's see what you chose.
Doesn't say no pressure.
This is a 1972 Maserati Boomerang,
There we go.
and it was a concept car that never hit the road for production, but it is a cool car, and it does make me think of Back to the Future.
It
does.
does.
So this is just outstanding day. Tim, can you believe it? 2 death matches, both went Maserati's way. Unbelievable.
I think you
There we go.
prepped him before the call.
I wouldn't put that past him. I would do that, but in this case, no, I didn't. Yeah.
Tony probably wanted me to pick the Ferrari so he could give me a hard time.
No, I've got you locked in now. Now the competition, if you look at it overall, is getting way better. Now it's 4 picks for Ferrari and 3 picks for Maserati. So
All right.
we're right there where we need to be. And in the fourth quarter, we'll come right back and take this game. So.
Yeah. Glad we could even it out for you.
Exactly.
All right. So musical talent for the final part of the show is we ask our guest if they have musical talent. I don't think Wasay has any musical talent. Right?
I have the hair, but I don't have the talent.
You have the hair.
I don't have the talent.
So Gillian could play, and we could put your fingers for Gillian, and we could put your face, and you do your hair when it grows back. Do it like that, and we'll have the right match.
That
then.
works. Yeah,
I think so.
that'll
But
definitely work.
for today, it's going to be Gillian. And Gillian, we ask on the original outros for this podcast are always Tim, because he's a fabulous guitar player, and he does guitar solos from David Gilmour a lot, and he does Eddie Van Halen. He does amazing work. But about midway through, we thought, why don't we ask our guests who have musical talents to provide the outro? So for today's outro, talk to us a little bit about what you're going to play.
So just to preface, the piano that I have is old. I got it for free on Facebook Market. So it is not really well tuned. So that that is what, there's no pedal also involved. So we got it for free, so it's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You don't have a pedal, or you don't know how to use the pedals?
Oh no, I don't. It doesn't. The pedal doesn't work. Yeah, I know how to use the pedal. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Oh yeah, so insulting to tell you don't know how to use the pedals, right?
It
Yeah.
is. But I was just gonna play just like a little blurb. I don't know how long the outro needs to be. but was gonna play just a little intro to a great pop hit song called "1,000 Miles" by Vanessa Carlton. But it's just like the first, few seconds, so I'm not sure how useful that would be for the outro, or if Tim wants to play the outro and we could do a little clip of me playing it. I'm not sure how you wanna run a roll with that.
In post-production, we're just going to put Elton John and show your face. Yeah, how's that? Yeah.
Intro of Piano Man, like the little riff, we can do that. Yeah, make me seem super talented.
Well, in all seriousness, before we head to the outro, I just wanted for Tim and I just say thank you, not only for how you've helped us with getting our product on AWS, but just all of the guidance that you've given us and everything. And it's been really helpful. Of course, people out there can look up Cloud Elegant and see what you do as overall service and everything. So that'll Tim and I both would highly recommend that to our viewers. So all four of them. So we'll make sure that they all four know that. But yeah, we appreciate you coming on. And now we're going to head into the outro. Ladies and gentlemen, let us present the great Gillian Hewett. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.